Hey guys, Garrett here, and honestly I think everybody needs a shop. And you're probably going to say, well Garrett, you have a 6,000 square foot house with another 1,000 square feet of garage. It's different. Come on guys, it's totally different. A shop, you can get extra dirty, you can do whatever the heck you want in it. Plus, my shop I actually used as storage for when I was building my house. I put all my ICF blocks in it, my windows, my doors, tools, everything. It was the secure place that I could go to put everything. Not only that, but we were living at my dad's at the time, so the vast majority of our belongings were also inside of this shop. So it was extremely important and really easy to get by on my wife when I told her, hey, I think we should build a shop before we build the house so we have a place to put things. Secretly, I just wanted a shop in the end so that I could do the things that I want to do. But regardless, it was nice to have during the build, and it was a place you could get out of the sun, nice shady area, you could put fans on if you wanted, had electricity, so just a great place to have during the build of my house. So in this video, I'm going to show you the outside as well as the inside of the shop and show you some of the unique features about it. And then at the end, I'm actually going to go line item by line item of the exact costs of my shop. It ended up being pretty darn cheap per square foot. I started and finished my shop in mid-2016. So I started it in the summertime and actually finished it towards the end of the year, but the vast majority of it was done within about 2 months of my starting. Really, the part that I finished at the end of the year was the electrical. So as with any shop, starts with lots of rock laid as a foundation, and then I put in my footings as well as my piers, and then my trusses, and then all the wood, everything that goes with it, as well as brand new metal siding that goes on the outside of it. So it's a pretty darn good looking shop, and I really like it. I can't believe that I ever didn't have a shop. This was honestly something that I wanted at 13 years old, and I finished it in 2016, so it was like 21 years coming for me dreaming about having this space. Now I have it and I use it all the time, and I couldn't go back otherwise. My shop is 35 feet wide and 90 feet long, which is a little untraditional, but it'll make more sense whenever you see the way that I actually built this shop. And here we are inside of the shop. You know, pretty typical shop. Nice thing is the trusses are the scissor type trusses, so we have vaulted ceilings, but what makes these somewhat unique is they came out of a chicken house, actually retired chicken houses. And then I made my shop out of them. I got each set here for 50 bucks a piece, but they actually resided in Arkansas before I bought them. And as you see these, they have this tapered end on here, which, to be honest, if I was to do it again, I would have got the trusses that would have had a straight leg going straight up and down, would have made building this building a heck of a lot easier. But sometimes you just end up what you end up with, and this is what I got. They were nice and cheap. I built the concrete piers underneath them, and then of course they have 18-inch footings that are down underneath the slab. Here in the front, I've got a nice window here, the big giant door over there, plus another window over there. So lots of natural lighting on this side of the shop. Plus, of course, the door has a little window in it, as well as a small window over there. If you look at this side of the shop, I do not have any windows at all. And the whole reason is I can't see that side of the shop whenever I am up at the house or even outside. It's on a side that's pretty much blind to me. So if someone was to break into the shop, I'd never know it on that side of the house. Same deal over there. It's on the south side of the house, and I really can't see it. But you'll also notice there's a garage door on that side of the shop as well. And this way is north, this way is south. So I can open both of those doors and get a really nice cross breeze during the summer. And it's just not that bad during the summer months. Over here, I have a side door, and of course, bring the mower in and out of there, as well as vehicles if I need to. But My plan in the future is actually right where this cabinet sits to put another door over there. And as you can see, I just have way too much stuff. It's amazing how much stuff a person accumulates over time, as well as too darn many vehicles too. But regardless, I'm a car guy and I enjoy that kind of stuff. And if you can't tell, I have a lift, so I like to work on my own stuff as well. As you can see, I've got concrete floors. They range anywhere from 6 to 8 inches thick. I did not do a good job of leveling out the rock underneath, and I really could have saved myself probably $1,000 in concrete costs had I gotten some sand and actually leveled everything out. But this was early on in my building experience, and I really just didn't have either the time or the experience, so it is what it is. And I spent a little extra money on it, but it does not crack. It has lots of rebar within it, and I love it. And if you're wondering what this little room is right over here, this is actually where I shoot the vast majority of these videos. This is a studio space for where I shoot most of these videos, and it's pretty much an afterthought. I didn't know I was going to be doing YouTube, so I just built this room inside of my shop, and it turned out really nice. The shop does have a 200 amp panel in it, and it is a dedicated 200 amp service for this building. And as you can see, I've insulated all of the walls. Granted, yeah, I'm missing a little piece right there. I'll get to that. But the roof is actually insulated as well. And while that insulation is not pretty, it has foil on both sides, and it was the original chicken coop insulation. So I bought that at the same time that I bought these trusses and installed them, and I wouldn't go any other way. In my opinion, you definitely have to insulate at least the roof of your building, mainly to keep it from raining whenever it gets really humid out. It'll condensate on the inside and then just start dripping on everything, and mine does not do that because I have this insulation. It's an inch thick, so in essence it's an R5 up there. Eventually I would like to add more insulation across the top, probably just run some more R13 batt up there. But I'll get to that. Now let's talk about the actual costs that went into building this shop. Ended up being pretty darn cheap, so let's go line item by line item. First off was the permit, and it was $974. Second was the rock, it was roughly $1,000. Third, rental fees. I had to get a skid steer as well as an auger to be able to do my footings, and I needed a trencher so that I could trench in the electrical over to my pole. And that was $346.98. Fourth, the trusses. Like I said, they were used trusses. I bought them in Arkansas whenever they were taking down a chicken house, and I got them for $500. Number 5 is concrete and rebar, and this is one of the big ticket items. Originally, I wasn't even thinking I was gonna concrete in this shop, but it just kind of made sense as time went on to go ahead and do it just up front so that I didn't have to do it later on. It ended up costing $9,670.97. And to be realistic, if I'd have done a better job of leveling everything out prior to pouring the slab, I probably could have saved about $1,000 in concrete fees. Number 6 is the lumber, and that came out to $2,885.55. Used a fair amount of lumber in this. The roof purlins were all 2x6s, and then everything on the walls were 2x4s on the long walls and 2x6s on the short walls. And really, I could have gotten away with less lumber had I had trusses that had the straight legs on the side of them. But again, I had what I had, so I made do with it. Number 7 is the metal. I did buy all brand new metal. I got it from Menards. It was $5,980.15. Number 8 is the doors and the windows. And I'll be honest, I only bought one of the windows that I put in. I have 4 total windows. And I had the foresight on a previous property that I owned. Whenever I was changing out those windows, I kept 3 of them. And so I have 2 windows that are 4 foot by 4 foot Those were free because I just kept them. Another one was 4 foot by 3 foot. It's on the side of my shop, and it was free because I kept that one. I only had to buy the one vinyl window, and it was only $100 or so. So total on doors and windows was $738.52. And I forgot to mention that I used garage doors on the north and south sides. I did end up buying a brand new one for the side door. Number 9 is insulation, and I insulated the whole thing. Part of the insulation was reused from that chicken house, so it really didn't cost all that terribly much. But total insulation was $1,268.06, and it's worth every single penny. Electrical, I did all myself. Of course, I did this whole building myself, but the electrical was only $646.89. And the 11th thing is just kind of a miscellaneous catch-all. I couldn't fit everything in, and that was another $448.39. So the total that I actually spent for this building was $24,459.51. But I also had roughly $800 in Menards rebates as I was buying stuff. And so I'd get a rebate and then I'd just buy more material. Get a rebate on that, buy more material. Ended up applying it all to this shop, and so that knocks off about $800. So that gives me a grand total of $23,659.51. So when you divide this out by the size of this shop, it comes out to $7.59 per square foot. I think that's pretty darn incredible. But wait, don't click off quite yet. Something happened a couple years after I built the shop. I had a hailstorm come through, and of course I am well insured, and they actually totaled out the roof on the shop as well as some of the metal on the sides and the front, as well as one of the garage doors. So I ended up getting a check from the insurance company for $19,301.06. I did go ahead and replace the front garage door on this shop, and that was around $1,600 to replace it, but I love that new garage door. Eventually I'll probably do the one that is on the south side of my shop, but they're kind of expensive, so I'll wait on that. Regardless, getting that insurance check just about wiped out all of my expense on this shop, so that's pretty amazing. Regardless, not taking that into account, I still ended up with a shop at $7.59 per square foot, and I just couldn't be happier. I don't know how people get away, especially if they are very handy like I am, how they can get away with small spaces to get stuff done. I have too much big equipment, as well as a fascination with cars and just how things work. So I need a space of my own that is away from the house. I don't get anything dirty in the house. I don't bother my wife, and then my kids can't really bother me too much, especially whenever I'm making these videos. So having this space out here is just wonderful. So let me know if you guys are doing something like this, or what you ended up spending on a shop just like this. Until then, I'll see you next time.